I kind of figure what the world needs now is one more train song. And as a result of that, I've written a few. I've been singing on the old Mrs. Railroad, the MRSR, out near Mount Rainier, last 3 seasons. And it's pretty cool. It's an old steam engine, you know. Off to my right is the middle of the night, and off to the left is the morning. Somewhere up ahead there's a signal light, I can hear the whistle warning. It's a Porter steam from the days when the dream of the long steel rail was gleaming. Hear her sighing in the middle of the night, you think that you must be dreaming. Don't you hurry me, don't slow me down. Don't you worry me now, I don't worry about it. Our sun will shine and the rain will fall on the old Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul. There's a gal I know that lives down the road, got a nice place to lay your head. Smell the blackjacks cooking on the stove, it'll get you right out of your bed. When the dinner train is making a grade, it's just like an escalator. Hear her shuffling away across the lake, and boys, I'm gonna see you later. Don't you hurry me, don't slow me down. Don't you worry me now, I don't worry about. How the sun will shine and the rain will fall on the old Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul. You know, there's an old logger lives up the road from me. He told me the funniest story one time about working on the Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul Railroad. At that time, it was known as the Tacoma and Eastern. And they were working one morning down south of Mineral, up on the side of Storm King Mountain. They were using an old Heisler geared steam engine to climb up the side of Storm King Mountain, and that's a pretty good climb. Using those geared engines like 4-wheel drive. And they needed it that morning because the track they were running up the side of that mountain was about a 12% grade. Pretty serious for railroading. And on this particular morning, there were 5 men on that engine, 2 loggers out on the flat car, and 3 guys in the engine itself. And about halfway up that hillside, they hit a patch of frost on the rails, and they begin to lose their traction, lose their leverage, they call it. And what that means, that's when the wheels start to spin. And pretty soon they were sliding backwards down the mountain. 88 tons of steam locomotive, 3 flat cars, going backwards. Now when that happens, there's nothing you can do. You just have to bail off. Join the birds, as the railroad men say. And that's what these guys did, all 5 of them. Jumped off of that steam engine in those flat cars, rolled along in the ditch. They finally all set up and got up and dusted themselves off. Gathered up in a little group there beside the track to talk about where they were going to go look for work now. And how they were going to explain the train wreck to old man Murray. But the engineer had failed to close the throttle on that Heisler geared engine. And that old engine and those 3 flat cars slid back down that hillside till they got back down in the valley and were on dry track once more. And then the engine began to gain its traction again. Pretty soon those guys up on the side of the hill could hear the unmistakable sound of a geared engine working its way up that hillside. And sure enough, it came by them doing about 6 miles an hour. They all jumped back on board and went back to work. Never said a thing about it. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts and every day would be Christmas, anyone caught with an open thought would move out on the isthmus, take up a farm by the Jesus barn, get a big white dog with speckles, get to be a pal with the red-headed gal and kiss off all of her freckles. Don't you hurry me, don't slow me down, don't you worry me now, I'm glory bound. All the sun will shine and the rain will fall on the old Chicago, Milwaukee, and St.